The gate area fell silent the moment the agent demanded the black mother prove her own child belonged to her, her voice sharp enough to cut through the crowd. Passengers stared, stunned. But the agent had no idea she had just challenged the wrong woman, and that the consequences were already in motion. Michelle Carter had been traveling with her son Isaiah since he was an infant. Long flights, short flights, crowded flights, yet somehow nothing prepared her for the humiliation that slammed into her at gate C-27 that morning. She was holding their boarding passes, their passports, and her son's favorite stuffed lion when the gate agent, a woman with a clipped tone and narrowed eyes, stepped directly into her path and demanded, "Ma'am, I need proof this child is yours." The words hit like a slap, loud enough for several passengers to lift their heads. Michelle blinked, stunned. "Excuse me?" The agent crossed her arms. "You heard me. People try to sneak kids onto flights all the time. We have to make sure." Michelle looked down at her child, holding her hand, staring up at the woman with confusion and fear. "I just handed you both of our passports," she said slowly, trying to keep her voice steady. "They were issued by the State Department." "That's not enough," the agent snapped. "You two don't look alike." A collective gasp rippled across the gate area. A man lowered his newspaper. Two college students exchanged shocked glances. A nearby mother hugged her own toddler closer. Michelle felt heat rising behind her eyes, not from embarrassment, but from rage threatening to erupt. Her son tugged on her sleeve. "Mom? Did we do something wrong?" The agent scoffed impatiently. "I'm going to need additional proof. Birth certificate. Adoption papers. Something." Michelle inhaled slowly, fighting to keep her composure. "You are singling me out with absolutely no cause," she said evenly. "Our documents are valid. You scanned them yourself." The agent shrugged. "Company policy." But Michelle knew better. She traveled constantly and knew the policies inside and out. The agent simply didn't like the sight of a black woman with a light-skinned child and felt entitled to question it. Several passengers began filming. Someone whispered, "This is discrimination." Another muttered, "Sue her." But Michelle didn't raise her voice. She didn't argue. She didn't cower. Instead, she calmly reached into her purse, her hand steady, and dialed one number she never hoped she'd need to use. The agent smirked. "Who are you calling?" "That won't change anything." Michelle lifted her eyes, letting her voice drop to a quiet, deliberate tone. "I'm calling the person who can explain your job to you better than you understand it yourself." The agent rolled her eyes. "And who's that supposed to be?" Michelle didn't answer. But the moment the call connected, her entire posture shifted. While the gate agent returned to tapping on her computer with exaggerated annoyance, Michelle spoke softly into the phone, her tone calm, confident, and unmistakably authoritative. "Hi, it's me. I'm at C-27. We have a situation." Isaiah held onto her hand tightly as she described, clearly and carefully, what the agent had demanded, the exact words she used, the passports she dismissed. She didn't need to embellish. The truth was damning enough. When she finished, she said only one final sentence. "Yes. I'll wait." She ended the call, slipping her phone back into her purse just as the gate agent snorted loudly. "I don't know who you think you're impressing with that little phone call, but you're not getting on this flight without proper proof." Michelle looked at her calmly, almost with pity. "You're going to want to change your tone," she said. "Very soon." The agent scoffed. "Right." But then, 30 seconds later, everything changed. A supervisor appeared at the corner of the gate, walking briskly, eyes scanning the area urgently. Then another manager appeared. Then airport security. Before the agent could even process what was happening, a man in a Navy suit, regional operations director, stepped directly toward Michelle, bypassing the gate agent completely. "Ms. Carter," he said with deep respect, "I'm so sorry for this. Are you and your son all right?" Gasps echoed behind them. The gate agent's mouth fell open. "Wait, you know her?" The director turned slowly, his expression cooling to ice. Yes. This is Michelle Carter, our incoming Vice President of Passenger Experience. The gate agent turned ashen, knees buckling slightly. Passengers whispered furiously. VP? Oh, she's done. She really tried the wrong one. Michelle didn't gloat. Didn't smile. Didn't revel in the shift of power. She simply placed a hand on her son's shoulder, shielding him from the growing crowd. The director continued, voice firm. We have reviewed the security footage and witness statements. Your conduct was discriminatory, unprofessional, and a violation of federal and company policy. The gate agent stammered. I was just trying to save it, he said. You are suspended effective immediately. HR will meet you within the hour. The gate area erupted, some in shock, some in quiet satisfaction. The gate agent's cheeks flushed with shame as she was escorted away. And still, Michelle stayed composed, holding her son's hand, her dignity untouched. Once the agent was gone, the director turned to Michelle with an expression filled with regret. Ms. Carter, we take full responsibility. You and your son will be escorted onto the aircraft privately. Your seats have been upgraded, and the crew has been briefed. Michelle nodded politely, grateful but still steady, her son leaning into her side as the tension of the moment slowly faded from his small body. Thank you, she said simply. As they walked toward the jet bridge, passengers stepped aside respectfully. Some whispered encouragement. Others apologized for what they'd witnessed even though they had no part in it. One woman gently touched Michelle's arm. You handled that with so much grace. Your son is lucky to have you. Michelle smiled softly, her heart warming at the support. But the weight of what had almost happened still pressed on her. How easily her motherhood had been questioned, how publicly her bond with her son had been treated like something suspicious. On the plane, the flight attendants welcomed them with sincere warmth, offering snacks for Isaiah and speaking gently to him until he smiled again. But Michelle's mind replayed the moment at the gate, imagining the countless other mothers, especially black mothers, who endured challenges like that without the authority or connections to defend themselves. As the plane taxied out, the director approached one last time. Ms. Carter, he said quietly, I know today was painful, but I want you to know this incident will lead to mandatory retraining across all regional hubs. Michelle nodded, taking a deep breath. Good. No one should be treated the way we were today. When the plane lifted into the sky, Isaiah rested his head on her shoulder. Mom? Yes, baby? Are we okay now? She kissed the top of his head. We're more than okay, she whispered. And no one will ever question who you belong to again. The truth was, the gate agent's fate hadn't been sealed by Michelle's power. It had been sealed the moment she decided to demean a mother simply because of the color of her skin. And today, that decision cost her everything. If this story moved you, made you angry, or reminded you why speaking up matters, share your thoughts below. Stories like this reflect real experiences that too many families face, and your voice helps shine a light on them. Comment, share, and subscribe if you believe dignity should never depend on appearance. Your engagement helps these stories reach more people and fuels conversations that can change policies, perceptions, and lives. Together, we can push for a world where every parent, every person, is treated with respect.